And of course, in studio, we are joined by another guest. We already said we're going to look at what you need to do when you get an encounter with a police officer. I want to give a shout out to Noah. Good morning. How are you doing, darling? Thank you for keeping it locked. And also Patrick, who's locked in all the way from Nyali. Patrick Abaria Subui, good to hear from you this morning. Good morning, Bernard.
Good morning, Miriam.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and thank you so much for having me here.
Karibu sana. Bernard is a paralegal officer, and Salim asked an interesting question at the beginning. What does a paralegal officer do? Well, let's start with that before we talk about having an encounter with the police.
Thank you, Miriam. As you said, that my name is Bernard Okemo.
Yeah.
I'm a paralegal officer. A paralegal officer is basically a person trained on law, but not an advocate. We support communities and people seeking justice and redress in terms of law. We have different types of paralegals. We have community paralegals, we have prison-based paralegals, we have court-based paralegal, among others. So we work basically to assist, especially those vulnerable persons in the community who are unable to get the services of a qualified advocate in the communities.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, today we want to know, because encounters with the police can be crazy, can be stressful and even intimidating, but knowing your right as a Kenyan citizen makes all the difference. Okay?
You're right.
So let's set the stage, Bernard. Many people get nervous when we are stopped or questioned by the police. In fact, somebody might see a police officer akija hivi, and then some of us like take a U-turn.
You're right.
Right?
Yes.
From a legal standpoint, what are the first rights every citizen should know in such a situation when you get stopped by a police officer?
Thank you, Miriam. And first of all, before we get to that point,
Okay.
let me unpack some facts that most citizens or Kenyans don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That first, anytime you encounter a police officer, it's not about an arrest. It is not about an arrest. And that is where we start going wrong.
Yeah.
That you meet a police officer and you see him from the perception of he wants to arrest you.
Yes.
That is not the case. We appreciate the work of the police officers. They maintain law and order. It is their responsibility. However, so let me first of all start listing when do you encounter a police officer.
Yes.
First of all, you encounter a police officer when you're traveling. It doesn't mean that you have made any criminal offense while traveling. Does not mean that. So first of all, before I go into detail, what you should do, let me list those areas where you encounter police officer and when. First, as I've said, when it is a traffic related or checkpoints, you can encounter police officer, he will stop you and perhaps make some clarification or ask some questions. And then you also have a situation where police officers are doing their routine patrol. You may meet them, and it usually happens at night in the communities, residents. Whenever you encounter a police officer, please don't see that police officer as a person who has come to arrest you. That's where problems begin. You also have a situation where police officers, you encounter them during public gatherings. Perhaps you are in a rioting group, or you are in a funeral section. Whenever a police officer comes, view that person as either a sister or a brother. That's the first instance. You also encounter police officer during curfews and emergencies. That does not mean that you've committed any crime. You also have encounter police officer now. This is now the problem during arrests.
Bernard.
Yes.
And during arrest,
Yes.
this is where now perhaps a police officer may be having an intention to arrest you, might have some crucial information he wants to get from you, or he wants to arrest you. So before you do anything, please make sure, first of all, you view that person as a brother, as a sister, not as an arresting agency.
Okay. So you've mentioned a lot of things, and I'm going to take you back to when you said curfew.
Yeah.
So I remember there's a time we had.
Tulikuwa na curfew hii.
Yes.
That's the COVID-19.
Na kuna mahali kuna curfew hata saizi zinaendelea.
Yes. So in such instances where, then why is it that our first instinct, natural response is to take a U-turn, to go the other way? Saa zingine nakwangata kukimbia. Unashenga unakimbia nini?
Exactly.
Nakaa aje hapo.
Yeah. Kwa sababu tumeona huyo police officer amenikujia. Labda hata hauna makosa na nakukujia.
Natural uko na makosa.
Like why is it that?
Yeah.
Natural uko na as in even though ametufanya I mean tuko na makosa.
No, ni perception yetu sisi. Sio wao ndio wamefanya.
So it's the citizens' perception.
Yes, it's a perception that we need to work on here.
How?
Today.
Okay. Miriam, ngoja niulize tu swali. Amesema hapa hata patrol yao wakikupata nje saa 4. Tushaiweka hiyo akili kwamba you're not supposed kukua nje.
Yeah, tumeka akili, yes.
Yeah. Wakikupata nje saa 4.
Umefanya makosa.
Wewe unamuona hivyo.
Yes.
Tumeona hivyo ama wao.
Tumefanya makosa.
Citizens.
Ni polisi.
Ukipatikana
nje saa 4.
If there's a curfew then nimefanya makosa.
Si curfew. Hata hii wakati wa kawaida. Wewe kitu ya kwanza anakuambia wewe ni mhalifu. First point before hata ujieleze. Yeye anakuaddress kama mhalifu. So kwa hii nchi you're not supposed kwa nje. 10.
So as you're saying that we need to see them as brothers and sisters, do they see us as brothers and sisters?
Yeah, they do. And I want to make this clear.
Yes.
90% of our human relationships are destroyed by first perception. First impression, I mean.
Okay.
That first of all, huyu mtu amekuona kama mhalifu. How do you react? That's where problems start. Because there's no law that bars you to walk at night unless it is a curfew. If
there is no law
that bars you to walk or to do your duties at night.
Police umesikia.
There's a curfew.
Unless there is a curfew.
Or an order that you should not walk at night. You're allowed to do your duties at night. But when ukikutana police officer, that's when problems start. Yeah.
So let me ask. So now you've broken down the instances where we get to encounter a police officer. So when a police officer stops me on the street, what is the correct way to respond?
You are very right. Now, the correct way to respond is to stay calm. Make relationship. We are human. We are human beings, and we are social. We are social factors. So the first step is to remain calm. Don't argue with the police officer. Akikushika, remain calm and start thinking how you will have a conversation with him. A conversation. The key word is a conversation. I remember just to take you back, in 2020, at some point I was also arrested by a police officer. Wakaniweka pingu. But sikufika police station. Why? Because I remained calm. I respected their order. They told me, they actually asked me, they got me from my, seated at my veranda. And then they told me, don't run away. Njo. I went with them. Wakaniambia, wapi mask? Yes, I was on the right. Nilikuwa nimekaa kwa veranda yangu na sikuwa na mask.
Yes.
The first thing is nilikuwa nimekaa kwa veranda na sikuwa na mask na ni kwangu.
Na ni kwako, yes.
I didn't react. Nikasema kwamba nyinyi simuona tu nimekaa kwangu. So I didn't go to that extent. But I stayed calm, nikawekwa pingo. Nikajaribu kumweleza mmoja wao mwenye aliniweka pingo, sema twende utaongelea police station.
Kwa nini na niko kwangu?
Yes, that's now where the problem is.
Umesikia?
Sometimes the police officers also have a problem. Wengine wao, not all, wanaona tu mtu kwamba wakikuona hivi wanakuona na makosa. But however, your reaction, the way nimesema, the first impression inafanya wewe unajikuta kwa makosa.
So in that instance, we tuko tu hapo kwa example yako, because yes, that's your example. You're at your doorstep. You're not putting on a mask.
Yes.
Ni kwako. Unajua surrounding yako iko safe. Wamekuja kwako.
Exactly.
In this situation where did you feel like your right was violated?
Yes, I felt.
Lakini ukakuwa kwa mpole.
Yeah, I remained calm. That was the starting point.
To a point where now you're being handcuffed.
Exactly.
Amekuwa mpole.
So you're still staying calm and you're being handcuffed.
Yes.
What would a normal Kenyan citizen do?
They react. They react.
Na makosa itakuwa ni
and respond with the anger. That's where the problem starts.
Now, but
what's the problem with reacting?
Unanieka pingu kwangu.
Mbona unanieka pingu kwangu?
Let me clarify this.
Yes.
That the police officers, some of them, they understand from their own personal understanding that some people are suspects. That's the first point, that kuna watu wenye ni
wanaishi na hiyo akili.
Hapo sasa sijui kama wanaishi na hiyo akili, but I think the trainings that the police are being undertaken through make them understand that not all people or all situations warrant arrest. So this police officer arrested me, and then tukasonga tu kidogo around 100 meters. Then I asked him, I want to see your boss. Yeah. Then I explained to the boss. I told them that nimekuwa kwangu. So of course boss alikuwa mbele. You know, they also, when they do patrols, they have their seniors with them.
Yeah.
So when I spoke to them, the boss understood. Because why? I was polite. I was polite to them, I respected them, and that's why I went to police station.
So zingine, us ending, you're saying that us ending up at the police station, most times it's because we cannot keep our mouths shut.
Exactly. And we slightly slide into violence and resentment. And let me put this one point, very important point.
Yeah.
That, for example, personally, I understand the basics about the law. I understand Sharia so well. In fact, I'm a believer of legal and social justice. I believe that every person, ukifuata sheria, you'll avoid 90% of your problems. So police officers wakati mwingine wakikushika, wanaweza kuona kweli uko na makosa, lakini because we una understand your rights, hautafika wapi? Police station, simply because you understand your rights. Yeah.
And in understanding the right, are you also able to say, because I like that you're bringing out understanding your right, are you able to say, because kuna mtu atasema, I know my right, you cannot ask for an identification card.
That is the problem. That's where now we start.
Why are you asking me for this? Why, so then we start questioning, because guess what, we know our right. You cannot just come in and cuff me. Siendi na wewe. So we start questioning, because again, we should question. So where's the thin line?
Now, this is where the problem starts. When any moment you tell the police that I understand my rights, believe me, you have 99% chances you'll end up in court. The moment you tell the police officer that mimi najua right zangu. Why am I saying that? It's because that one is viewed or perceived as an insult to them. As I said, that they are social beings as well. As much as they exercise their law and maintain order, you are not supposed to issue certain statements that make you enter into a danger. So ukimwambia kwamba I know my rights, of course mumaanza kutofautiana as a human being perspective. Yeah.
So if someone is being arrested, Bernard, what should they do? And importantly, what should they avoid doing? Exactly.
So with that, I want to take citizens to Article 49 of the Constitution on the rights of arrested person. One is that you remain calm. Remain calm. Listen to them, what they are saying. Don't argue. Number two, don't run away. Police officer anataka kukushika and then you start running. Don't. So here now we are talking about arrests, not just other social encounters with the police. Now when you are arrested. Then the second thing you should do is don't consent to information you don't know. Utaonekana kama either first suspect or a person of interest. If you don't know, just say, I don't know what you're asking. Sometimes they may be exercising a lawful arrest where a citizen somewhere, maybe in a police station has been arrested and he has mentioned you or she has mentioned you, Miriam. So listen to them. What do they want from you? So don't argue with them. Don't run away. Don't start fighting. Usikatae kuwekwa pingo. Wekwa tu. Kuna watu wengine wanakuanga na hiyo perception ati nilikuwa nasikia in the community. Yeah, you know, I work in prisons or in all prisons in Mombasa where I provide legal aid. Unapata wafungwa wengine wanawaambia ati unajua hiyo pingo kiwekwa tu hivi ati kwa cast. I don't know, you've ever heard that statement? Ati ni laana sijui
sasa wewe utakuwa ni wakushikwa tu.
Exactly. So the moment you have that perception, believe me, utakataa kuwekwa pingo.
hata mimi nitakimbia.
And that is when you utaweka pingu.
Umeresist arrest.
Yeah, umeresist arrest. Because sababu tu ya perception kwamba hiyo pingu nikawekwa
kosa nyingine. Umebandika kosa juu yako.
Yeah, utakuwa arrested sasa kuanzia kila siku. So that's where the problem starts. So don't run away, don't resist, don't consent to any information they give you. Pengine wanakuambia sign hapa, don't allow to sign anything.
Yeah.
Because it is your right to be heard. If they ask you to accompany them to police station, go. Just go. The beauty of a police station, most citizens don't know, is that any moment you arrive into a police station, you are not charged immediately. First of all, the OCS has a duty to assess or the accusation or the reason why you were taken to police station. Yeah, that's why you get that. There's a time a police officers arrest like 20 people. Actually, not all of them end up in court because they have that opportunity for a OCS to assess why they have been brought to the police station.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So umeeleza hapa vitu vingi, Bernard.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu umesema polisi akikushika usipanic. Polisi ukimuona usikimbie.
Yeah.
Now, but huyu polisi ambao unamzungumzia, sijui ni uko na polisi wako ama na mwananchi ako na polisi wake. Because huyu polisi akija, kitu cha kwanza wewe ukimuona tayari unaingiza uoga. That's nature.
Exactly.
Now, umeongelea upande wa polisi. Mimi kama mwananchi, notion ni kwamba kuna enmity fulani, which iko tusikatae.
Exactly.
Hiyo kitu iko.
You're very right.
How different should the police handle huyu mwananchi mwenye yeye anaishi na uoga?
Come up again?
How different should the police
handle
huyu mwananchi mwenye yeye amesha, tuko na hiyo perception.
Yeah, kwamba police
ukimuona ni ukimbie. Kama wewe mtu amekuja kuweka pingu kwako, lakini wewe umesoma, wewe umejua, umejihumble na nini. Wengine mimi kama mimi personally I'll tell you siwezi kuwa humble.
Yeah, so maybe nikijibu hilo, wacha nikwambie ukweli kwamba the police wako na kazi ya kufanya law, maintain law and order. That's their first step.
Yeah.
Or the TORs or duties to maintain law and order. Any time they are exercising arrest, the people may be mentioned somewhere or they target remain suspects. That's the bottom line. Hata wewe for example pengine anataka kushika mtu na ana suspect kwamba ule mtu mwenye ako police station alidescribe mtu kama wewe, then akona right ya kufanya nini? Kukuita because just someone has described you. So yale mengine yanafuata ni sheria, kukuprocess kotini ama OCS kukusikiza point yako. Because kweli mtu anaweza kutaja police station anasema wewe bwana ni kama wewe ndio umesa, hebu kuja. So wewe polisi wanakuambia kwamba uko na makosa pale police station, si unaenda usikize. So usianze kuresist. But the bottom line is for the citizen now. The first thing you should have is basic skills of how to handle the police that I've talked about here. That's the bottom line.
But the police hawana skills, basic
no,
skills.
they have them, but their primary duty is to maintain law and order.
Right.
And when they maintain law and order, people are suspects.
Let me ask you, when you get arrested,
Yeah.
do I have the right to know the reason for my arrest?
Yes.
Can I ask the police, why are you arresting me?
Yes. But unfortunately, at some point, I also have to blame certain police officers because wanasemanga utasikia uko mbele ama utajulia kotini. That's the most unfortunate part. And the police listening, I'd wish to let them know that under Article 49, the citizens have a right to know, or the arrested person, the suspect, has a right to know why he is arrested.
That's why mtu atasema I know my rights na inakuwa case.
Exactly.
And then also, how do I also have the right to ask that you need to verify if you're actually a police officer?
Yes.
Exactly, you have.
Yeah.
You have the right.
So if people were to come, let's say again, they're not uniformed, right? Police officers wamekuja. What's the best way to ask to be able to know in a polite manner, to be able to know kama ni mapolisi ama Subaru Brothers tusitupwe kule nini
in a very humble
way. In a very humble way. Like, what's the best way to ask? Are you actually a police officer? And what? Show me your credentials.
Utakuwa umechezea coffee
hapo sasa ndio shida itokea.
What do you? How do I know that you're the right person when you're nafaa kuni arrest?
Now that's where the challenge comes.
How do I know?
Sometimes the police I'm aware that the DCI police officers sometimes exercise arrest without a uniform. So most of them arrest people, and they ukijaribu kuuliza, that's when the problems start.
So as citizens, we're expected to just follow blindly.
Exactly. So this is where a situation, this is now the conversation, the big conversation in the room, that police officers also have to follow the law. Most of them don't.
What if they're not following the law? So then the citizen is disadvantaged.
Exactly. So that's why we are having this important conversation. If we have a police officers who are listening and the citizens who are also listening, they should get informed.
Yeah. Before I hand it over to Salim. So now I've been arrested.
Yeah.
Tumeenda police station, right?
Yeah.
What right do you have once inside a police station?
You have a right to contact your legal representative, and that is an advocate. You have a right to call your family, friends, and tell them that I've been arrested. You have also a right to be given police bond or cash bail, where the charges are not serious, kama zile za mada. You have a right to be given cash bail or bond at the police station.
Yeah.
So you have a right not to be tortured by anyone. You have also a right not to be coerced to make a statement. And I always tell these inmates who get to prison that never ever sign to a statement when you are under duress. That any moment police officer uko police station umeshikwa na hawaja kuambia kwa nini unakushika, unapata statement inaandikwa, na sometimes police officers write them those statement. Wanakuuliza tu sema chenye kilifanyika, and then you narrate the story, then you sign. Those statements usually are used against you. So I would advise people not to write to statement unless they are factual.
Okay.
If what you're writing is the correct position from your point, you have to sign. And mostly, when you know how to write and read, you do it yourself, the statement. But sisi andikwe na polisi alafu ukasign, itatumika kotini kwa kumaliza.
All right. And so once I'm arrested, how soon should I be presented in court?
Within 24 hours.
Okay.
Within 24 hours. And this is where I tell people that any moment you are kept in a police station more than 24 hours and the court has not ordered that, your right has been violated. You have a right to speak it in court whenever you are processed in court. Yes, within 24 hours. You should not go beyond that unless it is a weekend. Hapo ndio pia nasema zile kama za weekend hapo sasa haisabuliwi, lakini wakikushika Monday they should process you the following day before 24 hours period elapses.
For somebody who does not cannot access an advocate or a lawyer at the moment, can a paralegal officer get involved?
Yes.
What role does a paralegal officer have at this juncture?
Yeah, at this point the paralegal officer can go to the police station and assist this person. One can link this person with the families. Unapata wakati mwingine ukienda pale nobody ana credit ya wewe kupigia watu wako.
Yeah.
Are you getting that? Because wakati mwingine ukipigia family members, they are able to help you. So a paralegal officer can go there and if kama ni kesi tuseme kesi ya pesa, he can do what we call alternative dispute resolution, because the constitution article 159 allow us to do that. You have a conversation maybe with the complainant at that police station. Mnakaa chini na mnaongea pamoja na polisi, alafu mnakubaliana, and then you are given a police bond if you fail, or a cash bill. If you fail that's when you can be processed to court. So the paralegal does the linkages with the family and legal representatives, or he advises this person, he gives that person legal advice. Yeah, kama ni matter, for example, I've had situations where people are processed in court. Umeshukiwa kwamba umefanya kesi kama ya defilement, having a illicit relationship with a child who is under 18.
Yeah.
Then unafika kotini, police anakwambia, I've heard those stories, I've encountered them. Police anakwambia enda tu kubali, ukikubali watakuachilia. No. So this is now where paralegal comes in and advises this person that ukifika police station, koti, usikubali haya mashtaka, plead not guilty, alafu wakuprocess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Umeeleza kitu kimoja kuhusiana na swala la kwamba vyenye Miriam amemuuliza.
Yes,
ukifika kwenye kituo cha, tuseme umefikishwa hapo kwa kituo cha polisi.
Yes.
Unafaa kuongea na familia yako, marafiki, wakili. I'm talking out of experience.
Yeah.
Unaongea na mtu simu.
Yeah.
Whether ni rafiki, ni wakili, ni nani.
Yeah.
And then the person anataka kuongea na huyo ni arresting
police officer
ama mkuu wa hicho kituo, ni OCS ama ni OCD? OCS. And then jamaa anakuambia sitaongea na mtu, wewe enda huko ndani.
So those are the challenges we're talking about now.
Na sasa hizi ndio vitu zenye tunaulizana. Hawa watu I mean, wacha niwapatie respect hawa polisi.
Okay.
Umeongea tu sisi zenye basics zenye sisi tunafaa kuwa nazo.
Yeah.
Nikitoka hapa leo nimesoma, I try and manage kujicompose ili wanieke pingu na nini, but sasa mimi nikianza kuuliza the right questions.
Yeah.
Ama sasa nimepewa simu, nimeongea na saa nyingine wa Kenya wanaongeaga na mtu mkubwa kuliko yule mwenye ako pale. Umeelewa?
Yeah.
Ama wakili. And then huyo jamaa hataki. Wao basics zao ni gani?
Sasa hizo sasa ndio changamoto tunazungumzia hapa, that how zina happen hizo vitu. Na police officers currently wanapitia trainings to understand mambo na human rights and the rights of arrested person or persons in detention. So especially hii ni happen kwa wale police officer wenye hawajapitia hizo rights za, hawajasomea hizo basics, the rights of arrested person or in detention. So wao wamekushika basi when suspect. Na nataka kumake this clear kwamba kama hata police officers wanasikiza, their role is to process, especially for example the investigating officer, their role is to process you in court and win that case.
Their role,
yes, is to process you and win that case.
Oh,
yeah.
Yani role ya polisi ni kuprocess washinde kesi kwa sababu wamekushtaki.
So
lakini
that's
mimi
the bottom line.
Na mimi role yangu huko si ni kujidefend.
Yeah.
When I start asking the hard questions, they don't answer.
That's when the problems start. So if you understand the role of police, because the basic is to maintain law and order, to make sure, kwa sababu the reason I'm saying that is because some citizens, they're very weird. Mtu anaweza fanana wewe Salimu hivi anakuona like wewe ni innocent, but akienda into deep, find out that you are a very,
I am very innocent.
No, you are a person mwenye uko na 9 types of lives. So their role is to make sure that wewe unafanya nini, unafuata sheria.
Yeah.
Au vunji sheria in future tena. Kwa kwanza kikuachilia tu hivi from a surface point bila kukuprocess, then it is hiyo ndio inaitwa ticking time bomb kwa
society.
Yeah, kwa society na kwa sheria.
All right. Yeah. If you're looking at now, let's deal with now misconduct, right?
Yeah.
If someone feels like a police officer is harassing them and they're using excessive force or demanding a bribe, what's the safest and most effective way to handle it? And I've put that word safe.
Yeah.
Vizuri sana underline, safest and most effective way to handle it.
Yeah, while at the police station before pelekwe kotini,
yes,
the safest way is to ask to speak to the OCS.
Okay.
Yeah. Ask. I know most of OCS, there are people before OCS in a machine experience. You are a leader. So we are able to handle problems more than your juniors. So that was happened. So if you speak to OCS, that's one of the ways is you are very safe. tell the OCS openly what has happened, he will listen. Most of them will listen to you. And of course, they are the one who lead the disciplinary section of the station. So atakusikiza na atajua either kuna malicious allegations ama unafanyiwa si haki. And then another safest way is when umepelekwa kotini. Ushafikishwa kotini, ushapelekwa. During plea unaweza mention. However, during hearing, in case sasa mambo yako imekuwa ngumu, imefika hearing iko na stages 4 pale kotini. The first stage ni each party is supposed to make a statement. That is when you issue your statements. That mimi, your honor, nilikaa police station for more than 24 hours, nilitandikwa, nilinyang'anywa vitu zangu. At that point, sometimes ukipata magistrate mwenye anakusikiza, atafanya nini? Atasimamisha to hearing, ata order appearance ya huyo askari mwenye umetaja pale kotini. It has happened and it happens because that's the role of the magistrate also, to ensure that rights are followed to the letter. So it is safe. Ukianza kumention vitu kama hiyo, I can tell you kesi yako inaanza quote in quote kuanguka.
So if you openly mention that you were arrested, you were held for more than 24 hours, your rights were violated, okay, you were harassed, umepigwa, umefanywa kila kitu, hapo in court, right? I even identified Salim as the officer who committed this crimes against me.
Yeah.
Am I still staying in that prison?
Yeah, you'll
in the
Yeah.
same remand, the same cell, right?
No. When a time when most cases, when you reach to court, unaambiwa ukiplead not guilty, unafanya nini? Unapewa either cash bail ama bond. So ukifail kuraise your cash bail ama bond, unapelekwa wapi? Prison. Not sasa police station. So utakuwa umeshatoka huko.
Okay.
Yeah. Na uzuri ni kwamba ukimention right, you have a right to mention. Ukimention, then the magistrate notes them down, na even order for the OCS to appear. Yeah.
All right. I think Bernard, even after having this conversation, you're able to get that. Even as Salim and I are talking about this, there's still an element of it's called, we feel defeated.
Manake sisi ndio tu.
Like we honestly, like we feel defeated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's ni kama it's one-sided. One party should understand the other party more. And imagine, it's so sad that the one party that should be understanding the other party is the party that should be protected.
Yeah.
So instead, even the conversation we should be having is how to educate the police.
Exactly.
How should manake
teach them on how they can handle and work with citizens.
Bana anatufundisha sisi basics.
Yeah.
Na how hawana basic.
So can you imagine that?
The police
like mimi mnyonge sina basic, lakini sasa yule mwenye pia kona
anafaa awe na hiyo basic
na kila kitu hana
kabisa.
Na I want to use your statement.
Yeah.
Perhaps to correct even citizens outside there. You've said we feel defeated.
Yeah.
As a human being, you're never supposed to feel defeated in life. The moment you feel defeated, that's when you resent. Yeah, never ever feel defeated.
Yeah.
First of all, understand your right. Then remain a positive human being. You will avoid so many problems. I've had a situation where inmates wanapelekwa pale police station, wanapelekwa pale prison, hawajafanya makosa yote. Just because why? They felt defeated. Feeling defeated means unaanza kusema mimi siwezi weka pingo, sijafanya makosa. Ushaona? I've had in one of the prisons, kutana na some of the inmates, they were 4 of them. One of them alikuwa amecommit an assault offense somewhere. But sasa hawa vijana wanalala pamoja 4. Police officer walipokuja saa 11, they rounded all of them. Waliwashika wote. And sasa unaona vile tuko tunasema kwa perception of police officer that wakikutana wewe, the first thing ni kwamba wewe ni suspect.
Yeah.
So walienda na hawa jamaa. Sasa na ni kweli huyu mmoja ndiye alifanya nini? Alikuwa na makosa. So what happened? Why did they go to the station? They started defending this person mwenye amekuja kushikwa. Ushaona? wakasema yeye ana makosa, ule they knew that ule alifight, wakaanza kusema ule mtu hakuwa amfanya nini, hakuwa amekosa, huyu jamaa wetu mwenye mnashika hakuwa na makosa, so wanaanza like kumtetea. So what happened, they ended up carrying the charges za huyu jamaa assault.
Okay.
Because they felt defeated.
They were defending him. So if Salim were to get arrested right now, Mimi as an onlooker, nafa kunyamaza.
No, you're not supposed to keep quiet. You're supposed to approach the police officers and inquire. Okay. The key word is inquire. That's the basic I'm talking about.
Hey,
inquire why Salim is arrested.
Mbona the basic yenye iko wewe you are supposed to inquire.
Yeah.
Police anafaa kukuweka pinku.
Sasa how do
hata hafai kukusikiza.
Sasa hiyo ndio problem Salim.
Mbona inquire and then we get arrested together. On your own.
Mbona tunaona sasa people will ukija kushikwa nikija kushikwa hapa I mean nishaona by the way in another working station somebody just alikuja akakuwa picked na tuko hapo freezed
mkanyamaza
tunaangalia
you felt defeated.
Jamaa alienda.
So all of you kept quiet.
Unadu
Salim.
Where?
Because I don't use the word Miriam say. Salim, you guys felt defeated.
Yeah.
We are defeated by this thing.
Because Bernard, everybody feels like if I speak,
hata mimi
nitakuwa part of that.
No, jamaa hajawahi rudi.
No.
Mimi nikikwambia mimi nimekuwa kwa situations za polisi nyingi. So I think they also should have that basic thing.
Yeah, they should. It's so important. But Bernard, thank you so much for making time today. Is there anything that we forgot before we wrap up?
Yeah. So maybe 2 or 3 things
that
when a police officer arrests you, first of all, I will ask all Kenyans and the police officers to go through Article 49.
Mm-hmm.
Article 49 speaks about your rights, the rights of arrested person. Have basics about what you should do at the detention. Mm-hmm. But the most important thing is don't argue when you are arrested. Speak now, you police officer. Mm-hmm. In fact, last week, one of my colleagues was giving us a story how he evaded arrest during a traffic police. Mm-hmm. Alikuwa na makosa kweli ya traffic. But wakati ali-encounter police officers aliwaongelesha akawaambia ndugu yangu bujo kwanza. Najua saa hizi vile tumesimama hapa wewe you have all the powers above me. You know sometimes it's good to massage their ego.
Yeah,
you have all the powers beyond me. You have a right to process me in court. You have a right to kunifikisha police station and I will not run away.
Yeah.
You also have a right under Article 159 to have a conversation with me so that we do out of court settlement. I can tell you huyu jamaa alikuwa na makosa lakini hakufika popote. Akasema wewe nenda lakini usirudie. Lakini the last thing is that those guys who know the law, sasa kama sisi or the activists, tuache kutumia matamshi kama najua haki zangu kwa police officers. Believe me, you'll go to court. That one for them is taken as an insult. That mimi najua right zangu. Unaanza hivyo unajua right zangu, you'll be taken to court.
Yeah.
So that's where the problem starts. So even if you know your rights, approach them with cautious. Then I can tell you, you will have a very wonderful interaction with the police officers.
All right. Thank you so much. We've been speaking to Bernard Okemo. He is a paralegal officer, and we're looking at what you should do when you have an encounter with a police officer. All these interviews are on our YouTube platform, by the way, at Soilipot FM. So in case you missed anything today, nenda pale YouTube, you'll find the full interview. Bernard, thank you for making time today.
Yeah, asante sana.